So at the beginning of this video, I was going to say you guys can go watch the full you guys can go watch the full interview over on Will's channel. However, it has been told to me that some of the footage has been removed. So I guess you're gonna see it here. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie for those who don't know me, and baby, didn't I say it? Didn't I say it? I said as soon as Martin gets out that, actually I didn't even say as soon. I said Martin's gonna get out of this house, and in about a few months, he's gonna really start talking about how he felt about Tanya. It took a few days. Okay, before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. Now, I am going to be talking about some stuff that can be a little touchy, especially in this community, the Black community. So given that this video is not rated for children, I assume that everybody within the hearing of my voice is an adult. So if you have things to say in the comments down below, be respectful. You can have a difference of opinion that is not crude, crass, and downright disrespectful. And if you are that way, you'll just get blocked. It's fine. Either I'll delete your comment or you'll just be blocked altogether, okay? Because there are things that I do want to talk about, and I want y'all to be cognizant that these are real people, especially when they leave the villa. Like, it's no longer about a TV show. It's now about their real life, and let's just be aware of that, okay? So, what's his name? Martin. Martin went on Will and Jovu's show, and he was talking about his experience in the villa. I'm not here to say whether he's lying or telling the truth. I'm just sharing what he shared and then sharing my thoughts on it, okay? So he said that Tanya was his third option on the list. Initially, he wanted Zara, then Tanya, and then Tanya. When he realized those two women had left prior to him arriving at Casa, his eye was set on Tanya, right? He addresses that he did like Tanya, however, because the environment was just so new to him, he was in his head of a lot of the time.
I was thinking, am I saying the right things? Am I doing the right things? I need to do the right things, say the right things, because, you know, everyone is watching. So if I kiss this girl, she pies me, bruv, I'm done. I'm national TV, bruv. I'm not trying to do that right now. So I'm just like, okay, should I hold on? Should I? But to be fair, she was in on it straight, and that made me a bit more comfortable. Okay, cool, okay.
There's no debate that Tanya was on him. Like, if you had eyes, you saw it. You know what I mean? But I'm still grappling with this whole mutual pursuit, mutual attraction. I don't think that it was. I definitely think she was more into him than he was into her. He does explain the whole camera thing, so that could play a big part. It's an uncomfortable environment if you're not used to it. But as the interview goes on, I'm like, the way he's talking about her, I don't know. He says that before coming into Casa, why I call her Tasha? Have I been calling her Tasha this whole time? I've been meaning to say Tanya. Before they came into the villa, Tanya prepared two separate speeches depending on what Shaq's decision was going to be.
She wrote two speeches, one for if Shaq couples and one for if you don't couple.
Not having a backup plan.
Yeah.
I beg your Not having a backup
plan. Tanya said I'm coming prepped. Either way, I have a plan. Huh.
And she said to me, Martin, I know you're cheeky. Don't be cheeky, please. Don't say anything. Let me do all the talking. And this time I'm pissed. I'm like, why do I need to butter up to the guy? Why can't I talk? Do you get me?
You feel like she was getting nervous at that point?
Yeah, she was getting, I could see it. She said something about being a speed bump or something like that. And I was like, wait, what? That's not what we said. Like,
oh wait, so she read that to you before?
She was saying it and I was like, wait, what? Oh. As I said that, it goes, go guys, go, it's your turn.
I can fully buy into this, because one thing we've learned about Tanya, when it comes to Shaq, she really likes to control the narrative. Like, if she believes she is correct, eventually you too will start to believe that she is correct, because she will not back down. Once she's sold on a narrative, that's what it's going to be. So I can see her trying to be like, okay, if he has somebody, then I'm going to frame Casa in this way. If he doesn't have somebody, I'm going to frame Casa in this way. I think that there was also going to be an attempt for her to salvage things depending on what his decision was as well. But it is kind of frustrating for Martin, because he felt like, you already told me I'm not going to be a test. This is not going to be something that's a greater part, like a little storyline in the greater story of you and Shaq. You know what I mean? They agreed in that, and then she changed her mind in the speech, and that's what made Martin very annoyed, right? So he says that in solidarity with Shaq, a lot of the guys weren't really talking to him. Namely, people like Kai actually went up to Martin and said, listen, that's my boy. I'm not going to chat to you for a minute, right? However, him and Shaq actually did get along very well until movie night, where they showed Martin talking about the whole 2-star, 5-star meal, and then that turned into an altercation.
Shaq, I don't want to quote it, but he said something along the lines of like, you're 5-star, but I took the girl back. I'm not gonna be like the girls and be exchanging words with you.
Yeah.
We'll go talk about it during the brief. So during the brief, I was like, listen, I got 4 points to tell you. Number one, your girl was only within 5 minutes of our first conversation. And number two, I told her she doesn't love you and she didn't agree or disagree with it. Number three, on the outside out, I'll be fucking your girls in ways you can't imagine. And
Oh, carry on. Number four.
you people thought he was crying.
He was crying when he was outside the villa. And
Yeah, he
out.
was crying because of the movie, the way he saw the movie. And I know he was crying because of what I told him.
What?
Yeah.
Ooh, that makes
That
sense.
makes a lot more sense.
He was crying because of everything I told him.
Why
Not
didn't
because
they play that?
I
That's
wish
so
they
annoying.
played that.
So this is the point in the interview where I'm like, I cannot buy this Martin is the victim story. And I don't even think he's fully trying to victimize himself, but there were moments in the villa, I'm not talking about this interview, there were moments in the villa where it seemed to me he wanted to be the one, like, I'm putting in all this effort. I can't believe I'm so sold on this girl and she gave me a dream. All this, it's really hard for me to believe, because why are you speaking about her in this way? I get wanting to poke at Shaq, but why slut shame Tanya in the process? You know, reducing her to a sex object. That's the way that I perceived his statement. Reducing her to just like a sex object in that way, I was like, that's going too far for me. That's going too far for me. Okay, it might not be for you. And then it's further irritating because if you guys saw, I think it was a few weeks back, if not like last week or something, Notes did go on, I think Capital One Extra or something like that. And he was addressing the kiss comment from Tanya, insinuating that more went on sexually. Apparently it was like a threesome or maybe a foursome. I'd have to recall, honestly, because I was just so shook that that was even said.
Her and her friend can answer that, but I don't know why it's just her answering stuff. However, I just don't want to be the bad guy. Like, I really don't, because
No,
like,
this is not the bad guy.
Yeah, like social media like to do that, innit? Like they like to twist certain things, and but obviously it wasn't just her, and that was the only scenario. So that's all I can say. You know what I'm saying?
Hilarious.
When like girls are going on national TV to say that they kissed me, but then they don't want to name the footballer that they kissed or the footballer that they dated. It's kind of like you put me in a position, but why did you purposely pick me? Like, did Love Island tell you to pick me? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? But it was well that ends well. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
apparently she's moved on from Shaq now as well. Like, sad things are going on. You know, crazy things are happening. You know what I'm saying?
In as much as it may be the truth, there's a way to talk about it that doesn't have this negative connotation, you know? And on top of it, as Black people, let's be honest, if you're not Black, I'm sorry, this is just something that you will not know from a personal lived experience standpoint. As a Black person, we know what things look like for us and how it's different from our other counterparts, you know? More so on such a public platform. So to you, it might be banter. Oh yeah, I could have fucked your girl from left, right, and center, da 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 da. But you know, like, as the Black woman, people are going to put a trope on us that we're whores, we're sluts, we're harlots. Like, you know what I mean? And so to hear Martin say something like that, and then on top of that, to hear Notes say something insinuating a similar kind of thing, it was very frustrating for me to watch. Very, very frustrating. I'm going through my own thing right now. Like, I'm immersing myself back into the dating sphere, and just to see the way that people view me as just a sex object, like, I'm very triggered right now. I'll be completely honest. I'm very triggered right now because of my personal experience. And I can only imagine how frustrating it's going to be to come out of this villa and to have Tanya be faced with colorism, racism, and now like sexism, basically. So yeah, that was the main point of what I wanted to talk about in this video. However, there is more that went on in the interview. Martin does insinuate that Shaq decided to stay loyal to Tanya for game reasons.
Realistically, if he doesn't take her back, then he's going home.
I hear it.
That is the fact, though.
Sorrel, what are your thoughts? I hear it. It's true.
It is true.
It's a game show. You have to play the game.
It's a game show. You know
You have to
what?
play the game.
Because I guess it's like morals v.
Yeah.
Do I want to go home?
Yeah.
Early.
He's been there for what, 5-6 weeks now. He
Yeah.
wants to stay. He wants
Just
to try and
wants
make
to
it to the
stay.
final.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I wouldn't have done it because I was like, fuck you. After that, I was like,
Yeah.
fuck. You can't come back to me. But obviously, Shaq wanted to stay. So I actually understand it. I get it.
So, did you think on the outside world, do you think Shaq would have tolerated
Oh,
that?
100% no.
Yeah.
He was not tolerating that. Andre, come on, man. Let's be real here.
Listen, at the end of the day, the reality is if Shaq was not partnered up with Tanya, he would have went home. Like that is real. I'm not going to take that from him. So it is technically a part of the game, but I don't think it was a game move. Do you know what I mean? Because this man had really, really, really strong feelings for her. Really strong feelings. And on the outside, would Shaq have tolerated this? I don't know. The outside is not the villa. It's not this intensive process where you cannot escape the people who you have relations with, you know? And on top of that, there isn't a casa on the outside as well, where you cannot escape those people either. So it's really hard for me to reconcile like, oh, Shaq was only picking Tanya because of game, and on the outside, he would have never gone for this. I don't really know. Lastly, a little bit here is just the whole speech and kiss debacle. Martin says that he did give Tanya ample opportunity to share about the kiss because, well, he saw her go downstairs multiple times and she decided, I'm not going to say nothing.
So I made her breakfast, but I still mentioned it to her. I said to her, you know, you went downstairs 3 times last night. And she goes, did I? Okay. That's what she said. That's the comment. She just goes, did I? Okay. I was like, okay, no problem. So I told her, that was me giving her the opportunity to tell me something.
I'm not quite sure if that was her trying to bank the conversation for a later time because that's producer led. Because, you know, sometimes producers don't let you have certain conversations at a certain time. Maybe because there are too many conversations happening at once, or because they want that to have a different impact at another time. That's just something that reality shows do. Literally. So I don't know if it was that, or I don't know if she felt guilty. I'm not quite sure. But I also was confused as to why Tanya felt like there was never a chance to tell Martin. I feel like there was time. There was time. Speaking of producers, Martin does say that producers were in his ear when he was recounting the whole speech thing to Maxwell and Olivia, and they are the ones that encouraged him to start some drama.
You saying, oh, I'm sorry for embarrassing you, but you just embarrassed me in front of everyone.
Yeah.
On live TV as well. Second time. I'm like, second time, this guy's taking that piss. Oh, my head was hot, but I'm trying to be calm.
Do you feel like
Man, you just got taken for idiot on live TV twice by the same girl. I was like, okay. Then production came now. Production says, I'm like, oh man, are you gonna have that?
what?
No.
Sorry, I was about to wrap this up, but wait, what?
I was thinking, am I gonna have it? Really? Am I gonna have it? Then I was like, you know what, guys? That's when I want to cause some drama tonight.
Listen, at the end of the day, he was going to do it anyways because he offered the whole I want to start drama, and then the producer was like, yeah, go ahead, do it, you know? But I just think everything that happened after coming into Casa just proves to me that the feelings that he claims he had for Tanya were not genuine. Even talking about who he would have preferred to pursue if given the opportunity just makes me think, Tanya, if we're going to talk about being opportunistic and picking for game, I would say you did that with Tanya as well. I don't know. I guess we'll never know. I wonder how this is going to pan out when they come out, because if Tanya catches wind of this, which she likely will, I highly doubt it's going to end well. We're probably going to be seeing this storyline pan out for a while, unless Martin decides, listen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like blow up your spot like that, but it is what it is. Or if Tanya just cops out on the chin and says, you know what, that is how it happened. I'm moving on. The show's over. Let's just get back to reality. I don't know. Let me know your comments down below. A reminder again to be respectful or you will be blocked. Okay? Okay.